Hi there, welcome back to Fully Blessed. I'm Amanda, and this is the channel where we discuss timeless truths about issues that are important to women of faith. And today we are talking about a very big and important issue for everyone, young and old, men and women alike, something that we all wrestle and struggle with. Some of us more than others, but it's the area of sexual purity, especially when it comes to dating. It's such a huge topic and so much to be said. So join me today as we discuss some things that the Bible says about sexual purity and why it's important, what some of the long-term positive or negative outcomes might be because of our choices, and what to do if we have some disagreements about that in our relationships. So the first thing right off the bat is, why is sexual purity important in our dating relationships? Well, simply because the Bible calls us to live a life that is pure and pleasing and honorable to God. There are so many verses that talk about living a life of chastity and being honorable and above reproach, and being an encouragement to others and an example to others. And I believe Jesus himself modeled this in his life. He did all things decently and in order, and there was no hint of scandal or anything inappropriate about him. And so I believe he's our model. And so those are just some biblical encouragements that we have for this example. And so what might some long-term outcomes be? As we live our daily lives, it's kind of easy to just do what seems like the next thing and not really think about the outcomes and the long-term consequences in the future. We might look back at the end of our days, not really thinking in the moment that it was a big deal that we did X, Y, or Z, but really regret it in the future. So I would just really encourage you, especially if you are young and have not entered the dating world yet, stop and really think about what your personal boundaries are and why you are making those choices. I think that's going to be something super important as you consider, what am I going to choose to do or not, would be the why behind what you do. For some people, they might say, okay, I'm going to choose that I will not kiss my boyfriend until we are engaged, or I will not kiss my boyfriend until we are married. Those are up to you to decide. However, consider why you choose to do that. If you decide to say, yep, I'm okay with going this far, but not this far, why? Why are you making those decisions? What is your heart showing you there? Well, that's something super important to consider. And so some of the choices that my husband and I made, we decided that we were not going to kiss until our wedding day, and we have not regretted that. We made a very strong point to not spend time alone together at each other's houses. Not because we didn't trust each other, but mostly because we wanted to set a good example to our neighbors and those watching us, that we weren't just hanging out alone together. If we were, we always made sure that there was somebody else there with us too. And, those are not easy choices. My friends that I worked with or that I went to school with, they didn't understand why I made those choices. And they didn't always agree with them either. And that's okay. You have to be ready to be standing alone in doing what is right and good. And also, it's important to be ready to be very upfront in the dating world. If you're in a brand new relationship, don't be afraid to bring that up and just say, hey, here's where my boundaries are. And this is kind of a non-negotiable deal. And go from there. And that's a good thing. And we'll talk in a second about what to do if there's disagreements. And so, again, I would strongly encourage, as you are thinking about these things, really consider, why are you choosing to set the lines where you are? So what if your boyfriend or potential boyfriend does not agree with you? Maybe you are choosing that you do not want to kiss until you're married, but your boyfriend is okay with that and doesn't necessarily share your conviction. That's okay. It's going to be pretty rare to find someone that you 100% agree with on everything. So the important thing to do will be to very clearly state, this is what I'm okay with, this is what I am not, and here's why I feel that way. Now you can have those conversations together, and now you can discuss what you're going to do when these things come up. How can you honor each other? He might not feel the same way about you here, and so he might have to compromise for you and choose to not do that, even though he'd be okay with it. And you might have to do the same in other respects too. This is a good practice for the rest of your relationship with give and take and honoring each other's personal boundaries. And so I have an encouragement for you as you consider these things. Like, keep your bar high. People don't look back on the end of their life and say, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I would have set my bar a little bit lower here. Most of the time, it's the opposite. Most of the time, people look back with regret on the freedoms that they took, not because they chose to deny themselves those things. So I really want you to really keep that in mind and let that be an encouragement to you. Again, consider your why. Why are you choosing these things? And really, really make our goal not to be either legalistic and have a long list of no's, or licentious and to have a long list of yeses. The goal is to really be what is honoring to God and what will set forth the best example of His holiness and His purity. And I promise you will not regret it if you live your life in this way, if this is your desire. And so my encouragement at the end here might be for those of you watching who are saying, I feel like I've already missed it. I feel like it's already too late for me. I have an encouragement for you that it is not. Bring those past things to the Lord. Confess your sin where there has been sin. Confess your doubt if you don't know when you've crossed a line or not. And ask the Lord for His forgiveness. And then move forward with a fresh slate, knowing that He has forgiven you because of His death on the cross. Let that sin be in the past. And let it remind you to stand firm in the future, but don't let it taint your opinion of yourself as you go forward. Know that you are a new creature because of the work He has done for you, and go forward now with your head high, making clean choices from here on. And I promise you that that is every bit as honoring to the Lord. And so that is what I have for you today. I pray that this has been a blessing and an encouragement for you. And if it has, please like and subscribe. Share with someone who you know might need this encouragement today. And I'll see you next time. Remember that you are fully blessed because of the work that Jesus has done for you on the cross.